Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Noelle Rizzio, and I am a counselor, and we are here today to talk about overthinking and how to not overthink. This is something that I think we all do a little bit. Definitely some people more than others. But I'm going to tell you a secret right now. You ready? Overthinkers are under feelers. Okay, let me tell you what I mean by that. Okay, we overthink. When we're overthinkers, we overthink every possible situation, right? We think what could happen, worst case scenario, what if this happens, what if that happens, right? We're overthinking it so that we can plan and prepare ourselves to not be uncomfortable or caught off guard and have to feel things that we're not prepared to feel, right? Um, Okay, so we have to realize that it's okay to not be okay. And I know that that gets said all the time, but it's not just words. Like it's a real thing. We have this constant need to feel comfortable, right? To avoid any and all discomfort at any time. Um, but the reason why our body feels discomfort is because it's like innately necessary, right? If you think about like cavemen and, all the way back to those times, like they felt anxiety or felt stress when they were in danger. Right? That's our body's natural response to danger. We need to be able to feel those things. Okay. So all of your feelings have a purpose, whether they're good feelings or bad feelings. They all are there for a reason. They have a purpose for being there. So what our job is to feel them and work through them to figure out what their purpose is so that then we can handle the situation, right? If we don't do that, if we don't own our feelings, then we create more stress in our bodies, more physical ailments, more mental health issues. Okay, like I think about it as like a road in the winter. Okay, if you grew up in the Midwest like I did, you will be very familiar with this. In the Midwest in the winter, roads get potholes in them, right? Big potholes. And if they don't get fixed right away, then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Our emotions are kind of the same way. If we don't, if we have a little situation, a little emotion, and we deal with it and we work on it, we fill it in like a pothole, then we can move on. We have a smooth road ahead, right? If we don't fill it in, we don't work on that emotion, we don't heal ourselves, then that emotion becomes bigger and bigger, right? So what happens when you have a road that's filled with all these different potholes that just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Well, then you have to like destroy the whole road and start from scratch, right? You have a complete meltdown or a sinkhole or something giant that you have to deal with emotionally on a huge level, some sort of like mental break or something like that. We don't want to get to that point, right? We want to heal these tiny little potholes one at a time so that they don't become this huge, overwhelming burden for us to deal with, okay? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be anxious. And guess what? It is okay for our kids to feel these emotions too. I have been a middle school counselor for about 17 years. Okay. And this is the biggest sticking point that I have with parents. They want their kids to not feel anxious, to not feel sad, to not feel angry. Okay. So whatever is making their kid feel that way, they want that to go away. Well, my kid feels angry or feels discomfort in this teacher's class. Not because the teacher's doing anything inappropriate, but just for whatever reason. So the parents want to change the teacher's class or change the kid's class. Okay. That's not the solution. Okay. The solution is to figure out what is making this situation uncomfortable and to figure out what we need to do to rectify it. Taking the kid out of the situation will never teach that kid how to deal with their emotions and deal with discomfort in a productive way. Okay. Or I have all of these parents who call me and say, my kid feels anxious. They're anxious. So I need to take away every situation that makes my child feel anxious. Guess what? That is never going to happen. Okay. I love kids. That's why I became a school counselor. I want to help kids. Taking away everything that makes them anxious is not helping them at all. It's not teaching them how to regulate their emotions in an anxiety provoking situation. Because when they're adults, they're not going to have a 504 plan, or they're not going to have, a pass to the counselor every time they feel uncomfortable. Okay, we need to be teaching them how to comfort themselves so that then they can go out in the world and be successful, productive, efficient, effective members of society, right? That's why we send our kids to school. Okay, so we need to stop this like avoiding discomfort at all costs and start really learning how to feel our emotions, work with them, and then move on. Okay, and it is doable. Emotions are temporary. So we need to get from point A to point B, but not just sweep it away and sweep it under the rug, because that's where we create these like emotional streets with all these potholes, right? Okay. So if you don't know how to deal with your own emotions or allow your kids to deal with their emotions, that might be the time where maybe you need to seek some help. Talk to a therapist or talk to a counselor, about how to really sit with your emotions and feel them. Okay. This will help you to not overthink every situation, because you'll be comforted in the fact that whatever comes up, you can deal with it. You can handle it. Okay. It's also one last thing before I go. It's okay for others to be angry with us. It's okay for others to be disappointed in us. Okay. That is life. Not everyone is going to be happy with us all of the time. And that is going to be the focus of my next video. So please subscribe so you don't miss it. Okay. Thanks. See you next time.